think it's like here. Well, I want to go in there, but I can't.
I always keep my options open.
Oh, Jay's here.
Rough day?
You have no idea.
I just might. That's the second bottle you've downed.
Jai Hidari. Falco sends his regards.
And what does that unholy scion of a Grox and a Brahan want from me this time? Oh, wait, I don't really care. My sole plans for tonight are drowning my grief in a sea of Amasak.
We'll give you grief, all right. Get out!
Don't think so, Ashmag. And tell Falco to come himself next time.
Hidari, I am tired of your mess. Out! Get some sleep. We'll talk about settling up later.
Okti Shireen, light of my eyes. Can't you see my soul is full of sadness? Have you no heart at all? Let go of your material concerns and let me grieve in peace. Have we met somewhere before?
Last the I ever drunk, and you notice the 2 empty bottles that have been keeping her company before you arrived. She looks completely out of place in this dingy, smoky bar. The fancy attire, the abundance of jewelry, the implants plated with precious metals. Her appearance not only screams wealth, but also audacity. For only an audacious person would flaunt their wealth in a place like this.
Greetings, Shireen. With whom do I have the honor of speaking? Well then, here's to our meeting. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that you're someone special, since you've been granted an audience with the Liege of Footfall himself. It's always a pleasure to make the acquaintance of someone powerful. And the timing couldn't be better. Jai Hidari at your service. Professional trader, shrewd commercial broker, and, may he steal my tongue if I'm lying, the most honest dealer on Footfall. Nonetheless, we all have our problems, and at times even one's many merits aren't enough to solve them. Perhaps it would be no trouble for a person with your kind of power and standing to assist someone with my kind of predicament.
Can't pinpoint that accent at all. It sounds almost Irish with the my. But it's definitely not Irish.
You see, Shireen, there's one cardinal rule on footfall. Anything goes as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. I'm someone who's been able to exploit that rule to the fullest. And in recent years, I've hit it so big, I've become a speck of sand in someone's green eye. They used to throw small wrenches into my dealings here and there. Well, now they've decided to really put their backs into it. Some rats stolen my cargo and dragged it off to the seediest part of the Shadow Quarters. A crummy place even for connoisseurs of footfall's unique atmosphere. When I asked the Liege for protection, we had a mutual misunderstanding. I believe Vladium, in a most lamentable fashion, has forgotten his duties as guardian of the downtrodden and wronged. So I'm in desperate need of a new one. And you, Shireen, fit the bill perfectly. All I need is for you to drop by one dark corner of Footfall's Shadow Quarters and pound it into the thieves' heads that taking Heydari's property carries certain risks.
These refuses to help mean the loss of potential ally. Poaching on his turf. If Vladium is not responsible for the disappearance of Jay's cargo, he will certainly benefit from it greatly.
Ask as many as you wish, Shireen. Trust is the key to a successful endeavor. Goods of incredible rarity, Shireen. But it's not just that. 24 of my people lost their lives in the impenetrable emptiness of the void to acquire them. I cannot leave their families with nothing.
Ordinarily, smugglers do not dress so audaciously or behave so brazenly. They are unlikely to spoil the mood of the Legion's footfall with their mere appearance. This woman has lost many people to obtain these rarest of goods, and to get them back, she turned to Vladium Takara, the patron of all cold trade in the Expanse. Her cargo is nothing other than Xeno artifacts, creations of the enemy of humanity, branded with heresy. You asking an upstanding citizen to be party to trafficking of Xeno artifacts?
I thought we were on the same page from the start, Shireen. Please accept my sincerest apologies if that is not the case, and allow me to explain myself. If I had told you directly, you would have become, shall we say, complicit. But since those illicit words did not escape my lips, you would hypothetically be agreeing merely to help me recapture a few containers. And if the Aji suddenly decided to thwart our plans, then all the Void Dogs would be unleashed on me alone. My sincerest wish was to protect you from any unnecessary trouble, Shireen. I swear, by the Exalted One. A fair deal, Shireen. If your heart desires, we'll split the recovered cargo 50-50. That will be fair. But if goods of incredible rarity do not interest you, then I'll make it worth your while with some bonds equal in value to a couple of full holds. Of course, I am aware that my personal means cannot compare to yours, Shireen, so I do not hope to impress you with money. But I can offer something else. My boundless knowledge. Surely you will appreciate the services of an expert on trading operations. Where I'm from, they call this kind of deal wisdom selling.
Huh. I'm starting to like her.
May the Exalted One bless you and your progeny. Then here's what we'll do. We shouldn't be seen together before we make it to the safe house. I'll head there first. I'll take my own special route so I won't be spotted. Right. Here. That's where those ashmags are keeping the stolen cargo. Out the bar, over the bridge, and to the left. There in the depths you'll find a small courtyard, through which you can get to the place. I'll be waiting nearby. You can come when it suits you, but the sooner you do, the better. I'll see you then, Shireen.
Jay, you know, Jay is pretty great. She made a name for herself on footfall. She's a woman who came from nothing. She follows the unwritten rules of this place. She doesn't walk over weaker folk, and she drinks like a fish. There's a lot to respect. The sad thing is, it looks like she got the wrong side of La Dame. Since both of them, well, I guess all three of us, have ties to Kespalica, there's no way out of this. Jay should get off footfall while she can. Better to lose her business than her life. Now what happens if I give her the Amasec?
Keep your wits about you.
Here we go. So it's good to know the lore of the different things if I'm on my own. Which can happen. Strength, intelligence, fellowship, ballistic skill, agility. Coercion. Coercion, maybe? Or persuasion? Okay, what we got on your feet? Hmm. 27% less damage of a critical hit. It's affected by taunting defense. Whenever the Vanguard hits an enemy with an attack of opportunity, the enemy must make a will power resistance test. On a failed test, the Vanguard becomes the enemy priority target. Before their temporary wounds are lost, the Vanguard gains a number of temporary wounds strength for 1 round. Center attention for each of the enemy considered a Vanguard priority. Target the army is increased by 5%. That's kind of cool. Defensive stance has now -10 penalty to weapon skill for attacks of opportunity granted by this ability instead of -20. These attack opportunities add an additional 6 damage. Attack is made by an ally hits the Vanguard for the first time. Whenever an attack made by an ally hits the Vanguard for the first time, deals no damage if his attack is best attack. It applies to each successful hit in the burst. Okay. Hmm. %, parry. I like having parry. He needs to not keep blowing herself up. That'd be kind of cool. Ally gains unnatural luck. Unnatural luck when the ally suffers a critical hit becomes a normal hit instead of an... Okay. Okay. These are the ones I like. Oh my god, there's so many. Using her attack by a psycho decrease of veil of ooh. Pain channeling, that's kind of cool. Six direct damage for every time they suffer mental damage until the end of combat. Mental breach. So it gains stacks of -5 penalty to their dodge parry until the end of combat. Enemies that become targets of the Psyker's psychic power just become easier to hit. After 6... Use of the psychic power by the Psyker, all enemies gain -5 stacks to all characteristics. Enemies suffer from blinding stun, immobilize, or prone. No. Advice and guidance. First time in combat, any ally becomes the target of Psyker's psychic power. This ally gains 10 weapon skill. Force weapon attacks. No, 10%. Psychic power. When the Psyker uses damaging psychic power on targets that are 6 cells further than the Psyker, additional 3. Each level of Psyker rating provides the Psyker access to new psychic powers. It also strengthens damage of psychic powers. That makes me stronger. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. All enemies in the area of the War Hymn, Furious Recital gain 1 stack of Disturbed effect. Enemies that are adjacent to the Devotee gain 2 stacks of Disturbed instead. Also, a demon in the area of effect suffers damage equal to the momentum restored. Okay, that's kind of cool. But, Litany of Hatred. For 1 round, okay. Humanity's finest. Is affected by the ally of a non-damaging ability. So she's weak. She's never normally weak though. Dependable. Versatility stack to bonus armor. This is cautious approach, confident. Plus 5 plus number of versatility stacks. Bonus to the armor. Okay. Any effects apply, but she doesn't really prefer target when is the Archbishop gains critical hit chance. Oh wait, when the Archbishop attacks targets that have their dodge reduced by any effect applied by the allies, she gains, okay. Attacks that target have their parry reduced by any effect applied by allies. Custom to glory. Whenever she or the allies use heroic act or desperate measures, she gains +1 and +10% damage on all attacks until end of combat. Interesting. Gain a stack of versatility by 5% until the end of the turn. After killing an enemy with a melee attack, no. Every round, first single target ability used by an ally As long as it's killed at least one enemy with a melee attack this round. 16% of bonus. God damn. Right, okay. CQC. When blinded, any range area or range burst attack of the archmutant reduce the weapon skill of the enemy hit by 10. Area attacks, both melee and range, reduces the deflection of all enemies. Priority target, regardless of whether heavy gunner. Ingenuous. Enemies resistance test. Minus 22. Temporary wounds equal to 10% of maximum wounds. The same happens at the start of every turn while there remains under the effect. So she just keeps getting the stacks. What the fuck? When entering combat, she gains plus 12 weapon skill and plus 6 ballistic skill until the end of combat. What the? Okay. Take that out. Forge World characters gains stacking bonus hit chance of against a hit to single target. Successful critical hits from single target attacks increase the hit chance and dodge reduction by 20%. Wearing heavy armor, acceleration protocols. Pascal gains 5 movement points in the first round of combat. Every successful melee grants no. A lot of this is all affected enemies. Plus 20 to dodge reduction and parry reduction with melee weapons. If enemy dodges and parries. For next melee attackers. See, that's all melee related, and it's just like I don't really use him as a melee person. I use him as a shooty person. While wearing heavy armor, persistence of the forge. Single target attack. But is he a Forge World character? I don't think he is.